I guess I want to first talk about normalizing the chaos of this story, which is so fun because there's such a great comedic beat to the language of the film and everything that's going on in the background. There's a lot, and it makes it like a fun, interactive experience. So I'm curious about the processes you may had it in place in trying to wrangle that in and make it feel like, okay, this is a everyday type of thing, even though from the outside in it may appear another way.
I think lots of the stuff you do as an actor is juggling 100 things at once. Like cameras being really in your face, wind being in your face, like the fact that there was zombies and prosthetics and all of that stuff for me was just another element, I suppose, of being a technician in the work. But I kind of love chaos. I think chaos is really distracting and can bring in some really nuanced reactions and nuanced thoughts. So I always love a bit of chaos.
Yeah,
I just think I really enjoy being a part of projects that touch on multifaceted and have like a variety of different genres. And I think like this film could be done in so many different ways and could lean away from the comedy and be actually like a really kind of like serious, like social kind of like, and in kind of magnifying glass on people who are going through stuff and trauma and loneliness. And we've obviously taken the funny route, but there's also like moments of sensitivity that Max does so well to really make into a big deal. And I just think touching on a multitude of different genres is actually like something I really enjoy in cinema these days. So I'm glad we tried to get some sort of balance in that sense with the variety of genres and themes and stuff.
Was there a particular moment in reading this that you were like, this is something special that has a little more bite to it, no pun intended, than the casual scripts that you may read?
The tone was really unique. I think I got the script at a time where I was getting quite a few scripts at the start of the pandemic, and lots of people were doing lots of writing, and especially for young people on screen, there's a real and as there should be a real surge in lots of YA projects, but sometimes they fall into the standard tropes. And I just love that this character was off the beaten track and very strange and unique, and the structure of the piece was again strange and unique, and it twists and turns, and you're left at the end not really sure what you've just watched or where Oliver plans to go when he's walking away with his, sorry for spoiling it with anyone, when he's walking away with his goldfish. You don't know where it's going, but I kind of like that. I think it's it goes back to those films that let the audience choose their own end.
For me, rather selfishly, I just saw Mitch's character and thought, how fun is it going to be to wear all these prosthetics, play a dead guy with nothing to lose, opposite Max, because I was familiar with his work, with a director like Martin, who I knew that I would love because someone who'd worked with him before, just stressed how fun he was to work with. And yeah, I guess for me, it boiled down to just playing a happy-go-lucky dead guy with nothing to lose. And I knew that Mark was going to be head of the prosthetics teams, and he's got such amazing credits. So yeah, selfishly, it was all about how much fun I'd have bringing my character to life, if you're part of the fun.
Right. Here, was there a particular version of your character? Because he progresses, there's just the dead version of him that is funny, just being that he doesn't move, but yet the way that the camera is focusing on him makes it funny. But then there's when he's the zombie version, and then there's the zombie with the wrap around him as well. So was there a particular one that you found yourself leaning more towards?
Yeah, I think it's quite nice because there's something to be said about the comfort of your own home, and obviously Oliver's got too comfortable in his own home, but it's I think anytime he steps out, he's in the full bandage costume. So I just love feeling comfortable when we're on set in the house, having all of the stuff exposed, and he can be holding an arm, and it's the freedom to when you're at home, you can be messy hair, wearing whatever, and you step out, you need to be a bit more presentable. I always like the scenes where it really felt like I was at home, because I could be, uncovered, and I was accepted for who I am as a dead person and didn't have to hide anything. So yeah, I think just being free to be our own dead selves in the house was always a lot of fun.
Gotcha. Max, was there a particular jumping off point in you discovering Ollie and how he thinks? Was there a single aspect, a line of dialogue, a particular scene, or was it the outfit or the haircut?
I think I'm a very physical in the space, in the costume type of person. Like I feel like the page can prep you for only so much, and it's everyone else's really excellent expert work that takes it to the next level and really helps you fully immerse yourself in, you know, believing that you're this character. I think that Johnny Depp's performance in Edward Scissorhands was like a real, probably was the way in for this character for me from the get-go. As a film that I watched and I was like, that's kind of where I feel like Ollie lives in that world. And then basically stepping onto a very garish pink, pastel pink set, which is again very reminiscent of the, you know, the very fake studio sets of the 80s, really just enabled me to take that leap further.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you both have like since you spoke to like the sets and the type of feeling that the feeling that the film evokes, like with like the scene with your mom and being out in the pool and the TV, and that there's certain glow to it that is just very reminiscent of the era that it's set in the kind of goofiness of those types of films and TV shows that came out. It really leans into it and makes it very enjoyable. But when you watch the film, did you know that all that was going to be happening, or did you find that out when you watched the film itself?
So in order for me to step through the script, I had to see everything as truth, and I had to like really just believe that the hero was Mitch and not a dead zombie. But like I think there was awareness of like the, you know, it was I think it was an intentful thing to make all those sets. And maybe I'm wrong, but in my mind, it was a very intentful thing to make them like feel like that they were like the 1950s, you know, sitcom sets. And, you know, maybe Oliver's house is just Oliver's imagined version, heightened version of what his front room looks like based on the shows that he was watching with his mum growing up. So I believe that lots of this film happens in Oliver's imagination and from Oliver's lens. And I think obviously you're more than welcome to interpret things how you like, but I think that the sets and the costumes and the lack of reality in this film is as it should be, because it's happening in Oliver's imagination.
Sure.
Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
You're wrong. You're wrong. It all happened for real. It's all just. It's one of my favorite things about, like, I love when stuff is left up to interpretation. I completely agree with Max. I think it's really nice that some people can believe that and some people can believe it's reality.
Yeah, because there's certain conversations that are had in the film where it could go either way very easily.
Yeah.
I also think it's really nice that, like, Oliver's character, he's not too interested in the fact they're dead. He sees them as like normal people. He doesn't judge them on the fact, you know, in any way. He's never, you know, the only element that makes you realize he's aware that they're dead is the fact he wants to hide them from the public, and he's aware that they would be, you know, if they're seen as dead, there'll be some issues. But other than that, it's like such a insight into why he's such actually a good person, is because he only wants to protect them for why they're different. He doesn't want to identify their differences and get into it. He just literally wants to protect their differences because he respects and appreciates them.
For sure. How did you guys keep a straight face when you have Ben Miller spewing stuff while he's talking at the dinner?
We did it.
I don't know how they cut that scene together.
I was just going to say, they probably used takes of us waiting for them to start where we're straight faced. It was hysterical. Ben is so funny. Like, everyone was so like just fun to work with. Ben and Susan especially, but yeah. Ben is such a veteran of the comedy game. He's just like, he just knows exactly what he's doing. He's hilarious.
Yeah, definitely. And we're about to run out of time, so I'll cut you loose on this question. I love that Oliver has like a relationship with Alf, like the show, and the lessons that he mines from that, and you get to see like him actually put it into practice as he's watching it. And so I'm curious, like, what those TV shows or films that you grew up on that you feel like you took the most lessons from and are applying them every day and have led to the person that you are now?
Wow. I need to get better at like having like TV shows that like shaped me.
Drake and Josh.
That's a good one.
Come on, Nickelodeon. Come on. I don't know, like
Go on.
Maybe like That's So Raven, Seeing Into the Future. I love that show. These are all just like
The question feels like, what were you excited to see on the little bar when you turned on the TV to see what's on now and what's next? The Simpsons?
Yeah.
The Simpsons. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Such a smart show. Such a smart show.
Smart snow, man. I schmubbed that schmub.
Smart show.
My RS teacher, big up Miss Cleveland, man. She's a legend. She used to put Simpsons episodes on, but specific ones that like had a meaning only at like the last day of the term or whatever, and they'd have like some sort of meaning, and we'd actually pause it and talk about the end and realize how actually like deep and intellectual all the meanings are underneath all of the surface level humor in the Simpsons. So yeah.
That got your analytical mind going for the rest of your life.
Yeah, man. Big up Miss Cleveland. Thank you for everything you taught us through the Simpsons.
Thank you.
Thank you, Preston.
Yeah.
Big up Miss Cleveland.
Yeah.
If you're my friend, you're gonna help me.
Ollie, when have I ever let you down?
You're not on your own.
The loneliest boy in the world.
Get out of bed, you sleepyhead. Run!
Oh dear. What happened here?
He hit me.
She just fell off my bed.